Your reflection in the audience is always staring at you. I want to start by introducing you to someone who is changing the way we talk about survival, resilience, and the quiet power of refusing to let your wounds write your ending. Her name is Shaynetta Spikes, and she is not just an advocate for women who have endured trauma. She is a living testament to the truth that your pain does not define your ending. Through her voice, her presence, and her refusal to let her story end where it hurt the most, she has become a beacon for countless women who are learning to rise again. And today, I want to share with you the profound insights from our conversation, insights that I believe will change the way you see your own journey. Here's what I know to be true: your reflection in the audience is always staring at you. Every time you choose to rise, every time you refuse to let your wounds write your final chapter, someone else is watching, and they are learning how to live by watching you. That is not pressure, that is purpose. That is the quiet, sacred power of resilience. Let me say that again. Your reflection in the audience is always staring at you. Shaynetta reminded me of something we often forget when we are in the thick of survival mode. She said that your pain does not define your ending. The story you carry may be heavy, but it is not the final chapter. What matters is whether you keep moving when life tries to name you by your wounds. And I want you to sit with that for a moment, because so many of us have been named by what happened to us. We have been called broken, damaged, too much, not enough. We have been told that our trauma is our identity, but Shaynetta's life and the lives of so many women who have walked this path prove otherwise. Think about Oprah Winfrey for a second. We think we know her story. We think we understand what it means to rise from poverty and abuse and become one of the most influential voices in the world. But do we really understand what it took? Do we understand the mornings she had to wake up and choose herself when the world told her she had no place? Oprah did not just survive her early years, she did not just get through them. She built a career in media, used her voice consistently, and transformed personal pain into public purpose through storytelling and leadership. Her trajectory shows that beginnings do not have to dictate destiny. Sustained effort and self belief can convert survival into platform. She became a pioneering talk show host, producer, and cultural force whose work reached millions. And her life has inspired generations of Black women and professionals to see ambition as compatible with vulnerability and healing. Oprah's story is not just about success, it is about the refusal to let trauma have the last word. It is about showing up even when the world told her she had no place. And it is about the fact that every time she showed up, someone else learned that they could too. That's what Shaynetta means when she says your audience is watching your resilience. Every time you choose to rise, someone else gains permission to rise too. You may not see them, you may not know their names, but they are there, and they are learning how to breathe again by watching you breathe. Now, let me tell you about Misty Copeland. Misty became the first Black female principal dancer at American Ballet Theater, a landmark achievement in a field where Black women have historically been underrepresented. She faced racial barriers, limited representation, and the pressure of being seen as an outsider in classical ballet. But she committed to rigorous training, maintained discipline, and kept showing up in a space that was not built with her in mind. Her persistence led to historic promotion and a broader conversation about access, excellence, and representation in ballet. Copeland's rise demonstrates how staying prepared and visible can turn exclusion into breakthrough. She shattered a major barrier at American Ballet Theater and became a symbol of excellence under pressure. And her career expanded what young Black girls can imagine for themselves in elite art spaces. Misty did not wait for permission. She did not wait for the world to be ready for her. She showed up. And by showing up, she changed what was possible. That is the power of visibility. That is the power of refusing to shrink. And that is what Shaynetta is calling us to do. She is calling us to stop shrinking in the face of our history and start moving like our lives still have a divine assignment. Because here is the truth: survival is also a message. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can offer is proof that you lived through what was meant to break you and still found purpose, voice, and presence. Let me introduce you to Tarana Burke. Tarana founded the Me Too movement to support survivors of sexual violence and to create community around shared healing and accountability. The work emerged from the deep reality of sexual trauma, silence, and the isolation many survivors face. Burke centered survivor testimony, community support, and public truth telling as tools for healing and change. Me Too became a global movement that reshaped conversations about abuse, power, and survivor solidarity. Burke's work shows how one person's survival can evolve into a movement that helps millions feel seen. She built a movement that elevated survivors' voices and changed public discourse around sexual violence. And her leadership helped normalize conversations that had long been silenced, especially for women who had been ignored or dismissed. Tarana did not just survive, she turned her survival into a movement. She turned her pain into a platform. And she gave millions of women permission to speak their truth out loud. That is what Shaynetta is asking us to do. She is asking us to speak one truth out loud about what we survived, then take one action that proves we are still here. Because survival is not passive, survival is active, survival is showing up, survival is speaking, survival is moving forward even when you are scared. And here's what I want you to understand: you do not have to have it all figured out. You do not have to be healed completely. You do not have to be perfect. You just have to keep moving. You just have to keep showing up because somebody is learning how to live by watching you. Shaynetta said something in our conversation that I cannot stop thinking about. She said, I want people to feel seen, strengthened, and deeply understood. I want them to leave with a feeling of quiet fire, like they can breathe again, stand taller, and keep going. I want the conversation to leave them feeling loved, protected, and reminded that survival can still be beautiful. Survival can still be beautiful. Let that sink in. We live in a world that tells us survival is ugly, that it is something to hide, that it is something to be ashamed of. But Shaynetta is reminding us that survival can be beautiful, that resilience can be soft, that strength does not have to look like a clenched fist. It can look like an open hand. It can look like rest. It can look like saying no. It can look like choosing yourself. And that is what the soft girl era is all about. It is about learning to be soft in a world that taught you survival. It is about dropping the superwoman cape. It is about learning to say no without guilt. It is about setting boundaries without apology. It is about resting without explanation. It is about embracing healing, wholeness, softness, and emotional honesty. Because here is the thing: you were not put on this earth to carry everything. You were not put on this earth to be strong all the time. You were not put on this earth to prove your worth through exhaustion. You were put on this earth to live, to breathe, to be soft, to be loved, to be protected, to be free. And I know that is hard to believe. I know that for so many of us, softness feels like weakness, rest feels like laziness, saying no feels like failure. But that is the lie we have been sold. That is the script we have been handed, and it is time to rewrite it. Shaynetta is rewriting it. Oprah rewrote it. Misty rewrote it. Tarana rewrote it. And you can too. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to stop shrinking in the face of your history and start moving like your life still has a divine assignment. I want you to speak one truth out loud about what you survived, then take one action that proves you are still here. I want you to show up for yourself consistently, even when you feel unseen, because somebody is learning how to live by watching you. Your reflection in the audience is always staring at you, and they are not looking for perfection. They are looking for proof that it is possible to survive and still be beautiful. They are looking for proof that it is possible to rise and still be soft. They are looking for proof that it is possible to heal and still be whole. And you are that proof. You are the evidence that pain does not have to define your ending. You are the evidence that survival is also a message. You are the evidence that your audience is watching your resilience. And every time you choose to rise, someone else gains permission to rise too. I want to be clear about something. This is not about becoming someone new. This is about becoming who you were before the world told you who to be. This is about remembering that softness is not surrender, rest is not retreat, boundaries are not barriers, they are bridges back to yourself. And when you cross that bridge, when you finally choose yourself, when you finally say no without guilt and yes without hesitation, when you finally rest without explanation and rise without apology, you are not just changing your life. You are changing the lives of everyone who is watching you. You are giving them permission to do the same. You are showing them that it is possible. You are proving that survival can still be beautiful. So I want to leave you with this. Your reflection in the audience is always staring at you. They are watching how you move. They are watching how you breathe. They are watching how you rise, and they are learning. They are learning that it is possible to survive and still be soft. They are learning that it is possible to heal and still be whole. They are learning that it is possible to rise and still be beautiful. And that is your assignment. That is your divine purpose. That is your legacy. Not to be perfect, not to have it all figured out, but to keep moving, to keep rising, to keep showing up, to keep choosing yourself, to keep speaking your truth, to keep setting your boundaries, to keep resting in your power, to keep living in your softness, because the world is watching and they are learning how to live by watching you. So rise, rise with your whole heart, rise with your scars, rise with your softness, rise with your truth, rise with your boundaries, rise with your rest, rise with your joy, rise with your peace, rise with your quiet fire, rise like your life still has a divine assignment, because it does. And somebody is waiting to see you do it so they can learn how to do it too. Your reflection in the audience is always staring at you, and they are not looking for perfection. They are looking for permission, permission to rise, permission to heal, permission to be soft, permission to be free. So give it to them. Give them permission by giving it to yourself. First, speak one truth out loud about what you survived. Take one action that proves you are still here. Show up for yourself consistently and watch how the world changes when you finally choose yourself. Because survival is not the end of your story, it is the beginning. And your audience is waiting to see what you do next.